Hello and welcome to Express News. In the next half an hour, we'll get you all the latest news and updates. I'm Abhishek. Let's start with our top story. The Cabinet has decided to approve revision in guidelines for providing DTH services in the country. Union Minister Prakash Javadekar said now DTH license will be issued for 20 years and the license fee will be collected quarterly. Union Cabinet has approved the merger of Films Division, Directorate of Film Festivals, National Film Archives of India and Children's Film Society, India with National Film Developmental Corporation. Union Minister Prakash Javadekar informed this while talking to the media after the Cabinet meeting. Union Minister Thawar Chand Gehlot said Union Cabinet has approved Rs 59,000 crore post-metric scholarship scheme for more than 4 crore SC students in 5 years. Central government will spend Rs 35,534 crore and the balance would be spent by the state governments. PM Narendra Modi will release next installment of financial benefit under PM-KISAN Nidhi on December 25th via video conferencing. PM will enable the transfer of more than Rs 18,000 crores to more than 9 crores beneficiary farmer families. PM Modi will also have a conversation with farmers from 6 different states during the event. The farmers will share their experiences with PM-KISAN and also on various other initiatives taken by the government for farmers' welfare. Representatives of several farm organizations met Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar today in support of the new agricultural law and handed over letters signed by more than 3 lakh farmers to him. They expressed trust in the government and the agricultural law. Union Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar said that government will fill all gaps in agriculture sector through various schemes which will benefit farmers and ensure they get the right price of their produce. Union Agriculture Minister said he is hopeful that Farmers Union will discuss government's request. Whatever they want to add and subtract from government's proposal, they should tell, and the government is ready for a discussion at the time and date of their convenience. He expressed hope for a solution. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu extended greetings on former Prime Minister Chaudhary Charan Singh's birth anniversary. Vice President said Charan Singh was a great leader who made invaluable efforts for the upliftment of farmers. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also paid tribute to Chaudhary Charan Singh. In a tweet, PM said, and I quote, "He remained devoted to the development of villages and farmers throughout his life, for which he will always be remembered," unquote. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh greeted farmers of the country on the Farmers' Day. He said farmers have provided the country with food security. Rajnath Singh said some farmers are agitating against farm laws. Government is holding talks with them with full sensitivity. Rajnath Singh hopes that farmers will end their agitation soon. Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi, Rashtriya Lok Dal leaders Ajit Singh, Jayant Chaudhary and other leaders paid floral tributes to former PM Chaudhary Charan Singh on the occasion of his birth anniversary in Central Hall of the Parliament. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath paid floral tributes to former Prime Minister Chaudhary Charan Singh on his 118th birth anniversary in Lucknow. On the birth anniversary of Chaudhary Charan Singh, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath distributed tractors to farmers under the Krishak Upahar Yojana. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has said that new farm laws are very much beneficial for the farmers, but the people who do not want the development of the country and the farmers are opposing them. He said that some people are misguiding the farmers. Uttar Pradesh CM said that agriculture mandis will continue to work and MSP will also continue and there will be no harm to farmers by the agriculture laws. Indian Army Chief General M.M. Narawane arrived at Leh on a one-day visit to Fire and Fury Corps. Chief of Army Staff was received by GOC Fire and Fury Corps Lieutenant General P.G.K. Menon. Army Chief General M.M. Narawane visited forward area of Fire and Fury Corps including Rechinla and undertook a first-hand assessment of situation along LAC. He was briefed by GOC, Fire and Fury Corps and other local commanders on operational preparedness of armed forces. General Narawane expressed satisfaction on the security arrangement along the LAC. He also distributed cakes and sweets among armed forces. In Jammu and Kashmir, 3 security personnel were injured in a grenade attack by terrorists at Dudarhama in Gandarbal. All injured personnel have been shifted to the hospital. Indian Railways introduced policy on premium indent to facilitate freight customers. Now customers can get priority railway wagon allotment on Mondays and Fridays at just 5% extra cost. In Jammu and Kashmir Union Territory, out of 280 District Development Council DDC constituencies, result of 276 seats has been declared. BJP is leading the tally with 75 seats, followed closely by J&K National Conference with 67 seats. Union Home Minister Amit Shah congratulated people of J&K for such great turnout in DDC polls. He applauded efforts of security forces and local administration for successfully conducting these multi-phase elections and said that this will further boost the morale and trust of people of J&K in democracy. Senior BJP leader Ravi Shankar Prasad said people's participation in electoral process is a victory of democracy and a victory of the vision of PM Modi for development in Union Territory of J&K. BJP leader Shahnawaz Hussain congratulated the party candidates who won in the District Development Council elections in Jammu and Kashmir and said that people of the valley have reposed their faith in the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Union Minister and BJP is in charge for DDC polls. Anurag Thakur said that the combined vote share of the independent candidates and the BJP in the just concluded DDC polls in Jammu and Kashmir amounts to a little over 52%, which is a clear indication that the Gupkar gang has lost its credibility and the trust of the people. A special Central Bureau of Investigation court in Thiruvananthapuram sentenced Father Thomas Kotur and Sister Sefi to life imprisonment for the murder of a nun in Kerala 28 years ago. Sister Abhaya was found dead in a well in St. Puri X convent in Kottayam on March 27, 1992 at the age of 18. In Uttar Pradesh, at least 2 people were killed and 18 others injured by ammonia gas leak at Indian Farmers Fertilizer Cooperative Limited IFCO plant in Phulpur area. All the affected were working in the plants. Prayagraj DM Bhanuchandra Goswami said that the gas leak has been stopped. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister E. Palaniswamy announced that the state government subsidy for construction of houses under Prime Minister Housing Scheme has been increased to Rs 2.75 lakh. He said that an additional fund of Rs 1,800 crore has been allotted by the government for this purpose. Also in China, Bora murder case, accused Indrani Mukherjee has filed an application before Special CBI Court in Mumbai seeking exemption from wearing convict's uniform green sari in prison. The court has asked Baikula Jail to file a reply on the application. In Delhi, Chila and Ghazipur borders were closed for traffic coming from Noida and Ghaziabad to Delhi because of farmer protest. In West Bengal, Railways today conducted the first trial run of metro train up to Dakshineshwar along north suburban region of Kolkata. Karnataka Health Minister Dr. K. Sudhakar said that no function or festive celebration is allowed to take place after 10 p.m. between December 23rd and January 2nd. It applies to every kind of functions. The Tamil Nadu government has banned New Year revelries on beaches, hotels, clubs and resorts on the night of 31st December and January 1st, 2021 as part of efforts to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Tamil Nadu government granted permission to hold Jallikattu event with certain restrictions. Number of players not to be more than 150 at an event. COVID-19 negative certificate has been made mandatory for players. Number of spectators has been limited to 50% of the gathering. Doordarshan's engineer in charge of transmission MS Duhan has been awarded the prestigious Asia Broadcasting Union Award for his article in the Journal of AVU. He has been experimenting and researching on terrestrial analog and digital signals. Haryana government has set up a new municipal corporation for Manesar. The decision was taken in a state cabinet meeting chaired by CM Manohar Lal. Cold wave conditions at isolated pockets are very likely over Punjab and Haryana, Chandigarh and Delhi on December 25th. India Met Department has said that cold wave will continue in Uttar Pradesh during 23rd to 25th December, in Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand and Odisha during 23rd and 24th December and over Telangana on 23rd December. Puri Jagannath temple reopened after 9-month curb. An elaborate SOP was issued by Puri district administration to facilitate the darshan of Lord Jagannath. Servitors and the family members got the first opportunity to catch the glimpse of gods Jagannath, Balabhadra and goddess Subhadra. The locals will be allowed for darshan in the second phase starting from December 26 in 4-hour slot. The shrine was closed since March 20th in the wake of COVID-19 outbreak. Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman concluded pre-budget consultation meetings for Budget 2021-2022 held in virtual mode from 14 to 23 December 2020. More than 170 invitees representing 9 stakeholder groups participated in 15 meetings scheduled during this period. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman thanked the participants for sharing their valuable suggestions, assuring that all suggestions will be carefully considered while preparing the Budget 2021-2022. The Government of India and the World Bank signed a $500 million project to build safe and green national highway corridors in the states of Rajasthan, Himachal Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh and Andhra Pradesh. Green National Highways Corridors project will support Ministry of Road Transport and Highways in constructing 783 km of highways. These highway projects are expected to reduce greenhouse gas emissions in construction and maintenance of highways. Sensex and Nifty today surged 1% amid positive global cues. The BSE Sensex closed above 46,400 mark and the Nifty settled above 13,600 level. The broader market at BSE gained, outperforming the Sensex. At the BSE mid-cap index rose 2.4%, while the BSE small-cap index appreciated 2.65%. Andhra Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh have taken the lead in undertaking the urban local bodies reforms. The two states have successfully completed the set of reforms in functioning of ULBs as specified by the Department of Expenditure, Ministry of Finance. IT Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad announces launch of Grand Challenge for strengthening the COVID vaccine intelligence network system. CoWIN is a digitalized platform to be used to effectively roll out and scale up the mechanism for COVID vaccine distribution system nationally. Challenge invites participation from innovative startups and emerging technology specialists to augment and scale the CoWIN platform. Total recoveries from COVID-19 stand at 96,63,382. The recovery rate has also increased to 95.69%. The COVID fatality rate in the country has dropped to 1.45%. In the past 24 hours, 26,895 COVID patients have recovered. Indian Council of Medical Research has said that India's total cumulative tests are nearing 16.5 crore, keeping in line with its commitment to conduct more than 1 million tests every day. 10,98,164 samples were tested in the last 24 hours. The ongoing trend of contraction of India's total active cases continues. The active case load of the country stands at 2,89,240 today. The share of active cases in the total positive cases has further shrunk to 2.86%. Following the national trend, 26 states and union territories have reported less than 10,000 active cases. All the passengers travelling from or transiting through airports in UK and disembarking in India during the intervening period from 21st to 23rd December 2020 would be subjected to RT-PCR test on arrival. In case of a positive sample, it is recommended that spike gene-based RT-PCR test should also be performed. Passengers testing positive will be isolated in an institutional isolation facility in a separate isolation unit coordinated by the respective state health authorities. And those who are found negative on testing with RT-PCR at the airport would be advised quarantine at home. Prior to check-in, the traveller will be explained about the SOP and in-flight announcements must also be made. Those international travellers from UK who arrived in India since last month will be contacted by district surveillance officers and monitored in community. State government's integrated disease surveillance program will ensure that all the contacts of those travellers from UK or transiting through UK in last 4 weeks will be traced and monitored. The preparations are underway at the Vaccine Storage Center in Patna's Nalanda Medical College and Hospital to handle and store COVID-19 vaccines. Nearly 35 lakh vials can be stored at the center in the walk-in coolers. COVID-19 pandemic continues to loom around the world, infecting more than 7 crore 83 lakh people, while the tally of recoveries has crossed 5 crore 51 lakh worldwide. The virus has claimed over 17 lakh 24,000 lives globally. The US remains worst affected from COVID-19 with more than 1 crore 86 lakh cases of infection and over 3 lakh 30,000 fatalities, followed by Brazil in terms of death toll, where around 1 lakh 88,000 lives have been lost due to COVID-19 pandemic. US President Donald Trump has said that he wants Congress to amend the coronavirus relief bill to raise the amount of stimulus checks and eliminate wasteful spending, among other issues. The World Health Organization confirmed in a report that a new, more transmissible coronavirus variant had been found in the United Kingdom. WHO said that initial analysis indicates that the variant has an estimated increase between 40% and 70% in transmissibility. United Kingdom reported a record number of new COVID-19 infections on Tuesday as it battles a surge in cases caused by a variant strain of the disease. Meanwhile, the US government is considering that all passengers travelling from the United Kingdom receive a negative COVID-19 test within 72 hours of departure as a condition of entry in states. France to reopen its borders to passengers from England, ending blockade intended to stop the spread of new coronavirus variant. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson scrambled to get French President Emmanuel Macron reach a deal on Tuesday, allowing people to return home providing they have a negative COVID test that is less than 72 hours old. German biotechnology company BioNTech is testing the effectiveness of the COVID-19 vaccine which it developed along with Pfizer against the infectious new strain of coronavirus. BioNTech Chief Executive Ugur Sahin said that the company is expecting results in the next 2 weeks. The European Union is gearing up for a rollout of vaccination campaign after getting approval for the shot. Pfizer and BioNTech expect to produce 1.3 billion doses in 2021, with 60 to 80% of the global population to be vaccinated by August next year. In Bhutan, government imposed a 7-day lockdown starting from today amid rising case of COVID-19 cases. Bhutan Prime Minister Lotay Tshering said that National COVID-19 Task Force has decided that the need for a more stringent action after detection of sporadic cases in Thimphu Paro and Lamoisinka. Antarctica, once the only continent not to be affected by the coronavirus pandemic, has recorded its first cases. The 36 new infections are among people stationed at a Chilean research base and include 26 members of the Chilean army and 10 maintenance workers. The 36 individuals who tested positive have been evacuated to Punta Arenas in Chile, where they are reported to be under isolation and in good condition. Australia's most populous state, New South Wales, today relaxed coronavirus restrictions for Christmas following a second straight day of low case numbers, though parts of Sydney's northern seaside suburbs remain under lockdown. Israel to hold a snap election in March after Parliament fails to meet deadline to pass budget. Campaigning in Israel's fourth parliamentary election in 2 years gets underway, with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu faces public anger over his handling of the coronavirus pandemic. The European Union is giving a final push in a bid to strike a Brexit trade deal with Britain. Britain is set to complete its departure from the EU when it leaves the bloc's single market and customs union on December 31st. In Pakistan's Karachi, at least 8 people have died and 28 injured in a blast inside a boiler room at an ice factory. The factory's building collapsed to the ground following the explosion, trapping several laborers inside, which are being recovered and shifted to the hospital. In Afghanistan's capital Kabul, 5 people succumbed to death and 2 others injured after a bomb attached to a car of the doctors exploded on Tuesday in Kabul. The blast took place in the morning rush hour at the Doghabad area, killing 5, including 4 doctors, and injuring 2 others. Thousands of protesters rallied in Armenia's capital demanding Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan resign over a controversial peace deal with Azerbaijan as the opposition launched a nationwide strike. The United States slaps fresh sanctions on Syria, targeting its central bank and blacklisting several people and entities in a continued effort to cut off funds for President Bashar al-Assad's government. US President-elect Joe Biden has promised to push for another economic stimulus after his inauguration next month. Biden laid the blame for a massive cyber attack against the United States on the outgoing Trump administration. The French Interior Ministry has confirmed today the deaths of 3 police officers in central region of Puri. The 3 officers were aged 21, 37 and 45 years old. The gunmen initially shot and killed one officer and wounded another before setting fire to the house. Sports now. Union Sports Minister Kiran Rijiju virtually inaugurated 8 Khelo India State Centres of Excellence across India. The 8 states include Manipur, Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram, Kerala, Telangana, Nagaland, Karnataka and Odisha. With a vision to make India one of the top 10 countries in 2028 Olympics, the Khelo India State Centre of Excellence will ensure that athletes proficient in a certain sport can be given the world-class specialized training. India's best junior grandmaster Nihal Sareen and women international master Rakshita Ravi clinched a gold medal in the FIDE Online World Cadets and Youth Rapid Chess Championships. Lionel Messi scored his 644th goal for Barcelona to break Brazilian great Pele's record of the most goals for one club. Barcelona thrashed Real Valladolid 3-0 away in La Liga. Lionel Messi surpassed Pele's all-time record. Brazilian great Pele had recorded 643 goals in 19 seasons for Santos in his homeland. Atletico Madrid registered a 2-0 victory at third-place Real Sociedad in La Liga. With this win, Atletico moved 3 points clear at the top of the league. Atletico Madrid comfortably kept an 8th clean sheet. They have conceded just 5 goals in 13 league games this term. Holders Manchester City piled on the misery for Arsenal with the ruthless performance at Emirates Stadium to reach the AFL Cup semi-finals. Gabriel Jesus, Mahrez, Foden and Laporte scored for City in the 4-1 win over Arsenal. City is seeking a 4th successive EFL Cup triumph, while Arsenal have been eliminated from the quarter-final stage of this competition more times than any other side. Arsenal manager Mike Arteta thinks that Arsenal can become impossible to handle if the Premier League side doesn't manage to reverse their fortune sooner than later. Brentford midfielder Josh Da Silva's second half volley denied Newcastle their first League Cup semi-final berth in over 4 decades. Newcastle were defeated 1-0 by Championship club Brentford. Newcastle's loss sparked a furious reaction on social media, with fans calling for manager Steve Bruce sacking. Bruce said the criticism would not force him to step down from his role. Juventus suffered their first Serie A loss of the season as their 10 men were humbled at home by Fiorentina. Juventus had already lost 3 points after their walkover victory over Napoli in October was rescinded. Jadon Sancho scored a goal to seal a hard-fought 2-0 win for Borussia Dortmund at second division and tracked Braunschweig in the second round of the German Cup. As Christmas nears, Parisians said that their spirits have been lifted by festive lights and street decoration despite the coronavirus pandemic. Although festive face masks remained the accessory, Paris residents were seen queuing in front of carousel and taking photos outside the illuminated Paris Town Hall. Comic book hero Wonder Woman is all set to return to the screen on Christmas Day with a hefty mission: bring holiday cheer to pandemic. Set in the over-the-top neon-infused 1980s, Wonder Woman 1984 is the biggest movie so far to land in theaters and on a US streaming service at the same time. Work begins for Harbin International Ice Snow Festival on the frozen Songua, a broad river that winds its way through the northeastern Chinese city of Harbin. The 37th Harbin International Ice Snow Festival is due to begin on January 5th and will feature skiing, sledging, masked weddings, winter swimming and a theme park of ice sculptures bathed by colored lights. Christmas came early to baby animals at Australian Reptile Park, who are celebrating their first ever Christmas. Latest koala Joey Bond was seen enjoying a meal surrounded by tinsel, whilst the two Tasmanian Devil Joes, Wolf and Alula chomped down on a Santa hat. Christmas arrived early in central Thailand with elephants wearing Santa hats and giant face masks, handing out masks to primary school students. 4 mahots decked in Santa Claus style robes arrived on the backs of Santa hat-clad elephants in front of a school in Ayutthaya province. Well, that's all we have in Express News. Stay tuned for more news and updates. Namaskar.